Alright, we're back. State of Play was today, and there was nothing that we're necessarily wanting at the event, but there was obviously some good stuff for Vild today. We've been wanting that like Ghost of Tsushima sequel for a while, and we got a Ghost of Tsushima game. I don't know if it's like a spin-off or technically like a sequel, even though it's not Ghost of Tsushima 2, but we got Ghost of Yōtei, however you say it. Which is obviously exciting. I know people do want a sequel to the first game, but at least you're getting another game in that universe, I guess. That's pretty cool. We also got the Horizon Zero Dawn Remaster confirmed, revealed, whatever, coming to PS5 and PC October 31st. The great thing about this is that it's a cheap upgrade path if you already own it. It's only $10. That's one thing I was concerned with when I first seen it, because you just never know what companies are going to do. And I like that even though we're pretty deep into the PS5's life cycle, they're still giving us like free or cheap upgrades for like PS5 versions of games, because they did that not too long ago with The Last of Us Part 2, right? If you already owned it, you just pay $10 to upgrade to the PS5 version, which is what I did, and of course played through it again. And with Horizon Zero Dawn, it's a game that I've never finished. I have played it. I bought the PS4 bundle that came with like Horizon, God of War, and Last of Us. And I started playing through Horizon, and then like we're getting pretty close to like Remake coming out back in 2020. And I think I switched over to The Last of Us because I wanted to like play that really quickly before Remake came out, because I knew I'd be playing Remake for a long time, and I just never went back to Horizon. So this will give me a reason to like play the game again and actually like complete it this time. What's pretty great about this remaster though is it's not just a visual enhancement. They actually re-recorded dialogue and also redid some mocap for the game, which is kind of interesting. Makes me appreciate it more, you know, that they actually went through that effort. And it's not just a visual enhancement, they're actually putting some effort into remastering the game. It kind of reminds me of like Crisis Core Reunion just a little bit, right? Where they did more than just visually enhance the game. There's also an Alan Wake 2 expansion announced, The Lake House. It's kind of cool. We finally got a release date for Fantasia Neo Dimension coming out December 5th, which is exciting. We also got an announcement for the Lunar Remaster Collection, which is kind of interesting just because that's a franchise that I am aware of that I've never played. If you guys remember on the channel, I've talked a lot about my friend who introduced me to Final Fantasy IX. And he used to talk about Lunar Silver Star Story all the time. He used to talk about all kinds of RPGs. He introduced me to a lot of games. It's because of him that I actually played Parasite Eve a long time ago. Another Square Enix game. What a Squaresoft maybe back then, I guess. I don't recall if you ever talked about Lunar Eternal Blue or not, because it's been so long, but I do remember the name Lunar Silver Star Story. So I haven't actually talked to him today. I need to let him know in case he hasn't seen this announcement, because this is one of those RPGs that's always been there in the back of the mind that I've never got to play that I can now play. We also got a Nier Automata and Stellar Blade collab, which is kind of interesting. It's Stellar Blade's not a game that's anywhere near on my radar, but it is a Square Enix thing, so I figured I'd mention it. Maybe the biggest announcement today for me, though, was the Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver 1 and 2 remasters. These are such childhood games for me. I played the absolute shit out of Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver on Dreamcast, dude. All the fucking time. I love my Dreamcast, and I love playing this game. And this is a franchise that's been kind of in a weird spot for a long time. It's actually a franchise that was owned by Square Enix not too long ago before they sold off it, Tomb Raider, and a bunch of other random shit to Embracer Group. So it's nice to see that not too long after that sell, we're already seeing something done with this franchise. Maybe we get a new game sometime in the future, hopefully. Also almost forgot to mention that the Legacy of Kain Remastered shit like leaked like hours before State of Play. I happened to see it on Twitter, and it was kind of all over. I don't know how that happened exactly. It kind of sucks that reveal was kind of spoiled for a lot of people, but the fact that it happened still is what's important. That's more or less everything I wanted to mention from the State of Play that's I think's worth talking about, just because I don't care about some of the other shit like Horizon Zero Dawn, Lego, whatever the fuck that is, and VR stuff I just do not care about. We also did have Rebirth there, of course, for PS5 Pro. And it obviously wasn't anything special. I mean, we know what the PS5 Pro enhanced version of Rebirth is, right? It's pretty much just the performance mode and the graphics mode, right? Like you're getting the high quality graphics even better than what the PS5 base version has, but you're also getting, of course, like the 60 frames. So you're just getting the combination of both versions of Rebirth, I guess, into one essentially. This video downloaded from the internet, put into like a video editing software, uploaded to YouTube isn't going to do any justice, of course, and also it was downloaded from Twitter, so the quality is even worse. FF7 was there at the State of Play, so we did have to talk about it. They did say that the PS5 Pro version is going to be available like day one, November 7th, which isn't really a surprise. Kind of assumed that Rebirth and the other like PS5 Pro enhanced games that they've talked about would be available day one. Otherwise, what the fuck are you buying the console for? They did also talk about an update coming to Rebirth for the PS5 Pro version, update 1.050, which is kind of interesting because we haven't had an update in a while, but this is like the next update for Rebirth. It's going to, I guess, give it the PS5 Pro enhancements, but I wonder if that means there's going to be any sort of changes to the base PS5 version of Rebirth. I'm not sure. They also had a blog post with a bunch of like different devs talking about their PS5 Pro enhanced versions of their games, and they have one from Hamaguchi I figured we'd read that says, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is now able to evolve to the next level by utilizing the new architecture and superior hardware power of PS5 Pro. The new enhanced mode, developed especially for PS5 Pro, combines the characteristics of the existing performance mode and graphics mode to offer players a new visual experience. Specifically, enhanced mode runs at a frame rate of 60 FPS and supports PSSR to achieve a resolution on par with that of graphics mode. Mode names under development and subject to change. These visual enhancements result in even richer rendering for all aspects of the game, including the world, the combat, the cutscenes, taking player immersion even further. We invite you to experience an even more thrilling and even more beautiful Final Fantasy VII Rebirth with PS5 Pro. Naoki Yamaguchi. director, Square Enix. We've talked a decent amount on the channel about the PS5 Pro and Rebirth and the enhancements and my thoughts and opinions on the Pro in general. We don't need to go over all that, but I figured I'd talk about this because it's a part of State of Play. I thought the announcements here were pretty decent, though. Even though I didn't watch the event because I was holding out for, any kind of major reveal, hopefully, for us, like the 9 remake, but that wasn't there. But there was still some good shit, The Ghost of Tsushima, another game that people were wanting. Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver 1 and 2, super hyped about that. Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered, that's kind of cool, cheap $10 upgrade. It's a game I never finished, so I'm hyped for that as well. Sucks we didn't get what we wanted from the event, but we do still have, TGS coming up, very, very soon. And then we have the Game Awards at the end of the year. Maybe there's other gaming events in between there, places that things could happen, who knows. Pretty much it for the video, though, my dudes. It's kind of an impromptu video. It's not one that I was planning on making. I wasn't planning on covering the State of Play at all, just because there wasn't one of the major, announcements that we were hoping for. But kind of last minute, I decided, hey, I'll just kind of talk about it, because there was some things I was excited for from this event. Of course, best off to you guys. What are your thoughts on the State of Play? Did you enjoy the announcements? Were you underwhelmed by the event? I know people were commenting on my last video talking about, when Rebirth to PC and stuff like that. I don't know if they do those kinds of announcements at, State of Plays or PlayStation showcases, just because those are PlayStation-focused events. They obviously can announce games that are going to be available on PlayStation and PC. But I don't know if they would just announce, a PlayStation-only game coming to PC, because that doesn't do anything for necessarily the PlayStation platform itself. Maybe they have done that, and you guys can let me know in the comments. I know people were also wanting, a Rebirth DLC. I think it's been confirmed for a long time that they're not doing that. That could just be them lying, right? So that there's, a surprise reveal at some point. They kind of did the same thing with 16, if I'm not mistaken, right? I'm pretty sure Yoshida was saying for a long time that they're not working on a DLC, not doing a DLC, and that game got 2 fucking DLCs, right? So who knows how that'll go for Rebirth, but it wouldn't be happening this soon, right? We're only 6 to 7 months from release. Wouldn't be getting a DLC yet for Rebirth. It took them a year plus or something to get one for Remake. So dudes, that'll be the video. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. System works in the description below. Follow me on Twitter, @DaveYT. That's it. Bye.
Used to care what people thought, but now I care more, and nobody out here's got it figured out. So therefore I've lost all hope of a happy ending, depending on whether or not it's worth it. So insecure, no one's perfect, we spend it with no shame, we blow that like Coltrane, we in here like Rogaine, or leave it like Cobain.